certainly blessed of the Lord that you join us on today because I believe that God has a special coaching word for you. The goal of Action Coaching is not to try to change you, but to give you some tips and principles that'll help you better navigate your life as you continue to take action in all areas. I certainly want to encourage those of you that tune in to Action Coaching each and every week to make sure you hit share, like, and subscribe so that you can stay in tune to all of the things that is happening here on Action Coaching. I want you to reach out to others and let them know that they need to be a part of Action Coaching. Everybody needs a coach in life. Whether you want to call it a coach, a mentor, a guide, or whatever term you want to use, none of us make it by ourselves. A lot of us can look back at whatever we've achieved, or as we travel along this road, we thank God for various people that have been in our life at difficult times that have helped us to navigate the different trials in life. I'm grateful for all of the many people that as I was growing up and maturing were there to offer me correct advice. They weren't trying to change me. They were just saying, you know, it'll be a better way to do this particular task other than the way you desire to do it. And I'm grateful because if I look back, if they hadn't said this, or they hadn't pushed me in that direction, or they hadn't coached me on various terms, my God, I would have messed up a whole lot of things. And so I'm grateful for Action Coaching. That's why we decided to develop Action Coaching, because we realize that people need a person that have been the way to kind of share with them some of the things they have to navigate to get to their ultimate goal. Nobody knows it all, but all of us collectively together can succeed and do great things in our life. I remember when I was growing up, someone came along and told me, now I couldn't imagine this in my mind. They told me, they said, well, one thing you're going to learn, the more you grow up, the more you're going to sound just like your parents. And I was like, no, ain't no way in the world. I'm not going to be sounding like my parents, because some things my parents won't let me do, and I just, I'm going to do this and everything. But lo and behold, as I grew up, I started sounding more like my parents, which let me know that the wisdom they had learned was for my benefit, not for my hurt or my harm, but for my benefit. And that's what Action Coaching is all about. Now on this week, I want to talk about spiritual reset. Yes, I want to talk about resetting some things in our life. And in everybody's life, there's going to come a time where you got to go through a spiritual reset. Now, what does that mean? That means some of the ways you've been pursuing, maybe some of the ways you had kind of got comfortable with, but you find out that's just not working for you. You cannot continue to do something that you're not getting results out of it. And it comes a point in time where we got to do a reset. Yeah, we got to reset something. All of us got to go through a spiritual reset from time to time. And you got to understand, resetting some things is not a bad thing. It helping you to understand how you can advance in the future And there are going to be many resets in your life. Because I'm quite sure, like me, you have experienced the situation where something was working for you for some years and you got comfortable with it. And after all these years of doing it, certain you come into a situation where that doesn't work anymore. Maybe you grew, you developed, you moved to another level, you came into some more interesting things, and you found out that if you were going to succeed, you got to reset some things. So let's talk about spiritual reset on today. Now, the first part of a spiritual reset is number one. You're going to have to let some things go. Yes, let me say that again. You're going to have to let some things go. What do you mean by that? Well, you're going to have to let go some things that are no longer serving you at the level and at the manner you should be going. One of the hardest things, I know they got all kind of quotes about it. You know, like you hear people say they can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you know, that depends on the dog's ability, you know. And they said things like you can't break old habits. Yes, you can. Because a lot of things that we hold on real tight are preventing us from moving forward. As God began to bless me and I began to change and begin to grow and had a different purpose and a different desire in life, I had some friends who we've been friends a long time, and I certainly appreciate them. But however, those friends at that particular time was hindering me from where I need to go. Take for instance, you got a friend and you eventually understand that you need to be on time. Be there early for everything. But maybe you got a friend that's always late. You can count on it. They're going to show up late no matter what. Or you might have a friend you believe in doing things in an excellent way. You learned that now, but they just believe in not doing it at a level of excellence. And you get in your mind, they my friend. I've been with them so long, and it would just hurt me to let them go. I wonder how they're going to feel. Well, it's going to be two hurts. You're going to be hurt from the progress that you can make, and you're also going to be hurt from the fact that when you should have let them go. Not only would it have been good for you, but it's been good for them. Because some people are just not designed to go the places that you desire to go. So letting go is important. Someone is asking, what do I let go? You let go all of the things that are not serving you at the level you need to go or you desire to go. When I made up in my mind that I wanted a different life set, that there were things that I felt that I desired and could have. But I also found out those things that I desired and could have were not going to come with my old habits. Because old habits are designed, just like the word I said, old habits. Those habits are designed for you to grow old in, and they don't serve anything. And I realized that if I wanted to move into new territory, move into new adventures, I had to learn how to to let those things go. So everybody that's watching me right now, before we move off this point, I want you to say it wherever you are, whether you're saying it in your mind, or you're sitting in your living room, or you driving your car, or you might be in the midst of the job. You can't yell it out, but you can say it in your own mind. Say, I got to learn to let some things go. That's a key point. If you don't let things go, you're simply saying to yourself, I don't want to move forward. Because you cannot move forward and backwards at the same time. One of them are going to suffer an event. The thing that's trying to hold you back is going to suffer from the fact that you decide, I got to let you go. And the level that you're trying to go, now you understand that I got to embrace that wholeheartedly. Have you ever been talking to a person about something that would improve their life? Really cause them to live a high quality life. But because of their association in the area that they're in and the things they won't let go, you can see even when you're talking to them, they already done made up in their mind. I know I can do this, but I don't want to let this person go. Or I don't want to let this situation go. And you already know that that total conversation is going to be a waste of time. A real key to success is you got to learn how to let some things go. You can't carry people that don't want to go where you want to go. It's a hindrance. You can't make somebody believe what you believe in unless they want to come on up and believe. And if they don't, you got to let them go. So the first step to what we've been talking about here today is you gotta let go. Say it with me. I got to let some things go. Now, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'm going to be right back to talk to you.
Tap somebody and say, I'm made for miracles. You know why God allowed things to happen to you? He want to teach you that there are about 5 people got it. He want to teach you that there are. So whatever the devil knock you back with, God said now's the time to show him that he can't keep me there. Y'all ain't talking. Now is the time to let the devil know greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world.
Welcome back. I left off talking about how you got to let things go. A part of this spiritual reset, which is the topic we are talking about here. Let's move on to number 2 point. If you're going to do a spiritual reset, then you got to open your mind to growth and changes and new things. You got to embrace them, not fight them. I know sometimes one of all of our biggest struggles is we could become creatures of habit. But habits can hold you back. And there are a lot of new things that we need to embrace, to grow, to go through a spiritual reset. There's new thinking you got to have. New areas you got to move into to open up your mind. You got to be open to new and better things in order to grow. What would it look like in a day when we have cars that run various miles per hour in speed? But you're saying, I've been riding in my wagon with the horse in the buggy a long time, and I'm just not going to change because I like my horse and buggy. I don't believe in these fast cars. Something got to be wrong. You can't go that fast. But however, if you're going to do a reset, you got to open yourself to new growth, to new things that'll further allow you to grow and develop in the things that you are endeavoring to do. And that's important in your life. When I wanted to make a change, go through a reset, I started looking around for what's the things that I don't know anything about, but they can help me improve my life. Help me to reset it in a different way. Take for instance, when I wanted to reset myself physically, make sure I took care of myself in various ways. All of us have experienced this. People still experiencing this. Well, there were certain foods that I liked, been eating a long time. Really enjoyed them. You count on me for that particular food. But however, if I wanted to improve the way my body functioned and the things that I had to do, then I had to go through a reset. And that was the foods I didn't tend to like. Now, amazing thing about me, I didn't like them because they just looked different. They were not what I was used to. And I just decided I wasn't going to even eat that, I wasn't going to even like that, even though it would be better for me. But then I had to come to understand that in the reset, you got to embrace change, growth, a different way of doing things. And not that you're doing away with the purpose, it's just a new and better way to do it. So you got to embrace change and growth. Now I'm a pastor. I understand one place that they don't like to embrace too much change and growth is the church. It's hard helping people understand why I like my old hymns. Well, there's some new hymns being created too. And you can't take the old hymns and jazz them up a little bit. saying the same thing, but he said it. Let's make it fit where we're going. Let's do some things in our life. I know embracing growth and embracing change is both exciting and frightening all at the same time. You want to do it, but you're also frightened to do it. When I was much younger, I had made up in my mind. My daddy used to take us to the amusement park. And at the amusement park, they had this high roller coaster ride. I mean, that thing went up. And Jesus, looked like when it got to the top of the hill, it was a long way coming down. And it was coming down very, very fast. Now, in my mind, I wanted to ride that roller coaster. But also in the same mind, I was used to being on something I can control. Yes, I had an excitement to go. But yes, I had an apprehension about, no, I don't think I want to do nothing new because I can't control the circumstances and how I feel. Long story short, I eventually went up the steps all the way to the top. And when it was my time to get on the roller coaster and go down that long ramp, yeah, I had a little anxiety because I was used to being in a situation where I wasn't as afraid. But once I got on that roller coaster and went down that long ramp, oh my God, it became very, very exciting. I got great joy out of embracing something new. Growth is necessary if you're going to change. If you're going to have that reset, you got to believe in the fact that there are things that you're going to have to try. You're going to have to experience. When I came down that roller coaster the first time, I had so much excitement, you couldn't keep me off. And that's the way growth and change happens sometimes. Because it's impossible for you to reset and continue to do your same old thing. That is not a reset. But when you reset, you understand the things I used to do, they served me for a purpose. But now that I'm resetting, I got to grow and experience more things so that I can achieve the reset that I desire. And that's important when you achieve that reset. Spiritual resets are necessary. They're great. Well, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. But remember, we're starting our spiritual reset. I'll be right back.
Sitting on my bed, watching a preacher preach on the television screen. And I said to myself, Lord, I can do better than him.
Welcome back. I trust that you have enjoyed talking with me and visualizing in your mind that you're going to go through a spiritual reset. Yes, you're going to let some attachment go. You're going to experience new growth. You're going to understand that there's so much more for you to have. I thank God for you resetting on today. And I want you to reach out to me and let me know the things that you are resetting in your life. Now I want to encourage you to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching. You help us continue to spread Action Coaching and do bigger and better things. I got a lot of exciting things in my head that I want to try with Action Coaching, and it's through your financial support that we are able to do those things. Now I want you to know there's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways to sow unto Action Coaching. Some can sow 100, some can sow 200, some can sow even more. Trust me, it's going to help Action Coaching continue to grow and advance, and we want to hear from you. So sit down and sow that generous seed on today. Go to that link, and it will give you many, many ways in which you could sow to Action Coaching. Thank you for your financial support. Thank you for hearing me on today. And till next week, right here on Action Coaching, I want to encourage you, share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.